Dallas, Texas, on the way to up-and-coming band AMUSED House to talk about their dreams, motivations, aspirations, and what they can share with other bands and musicians trying to make it. Now, if you ask them what genre they play, they'll just say, "Death slap punk metal, bitch," and slap you in your face. I tried that. I don't suggest it. What is he doing? What is that man doing? Really, they play a combination of styles from punk, psychedelic, and metal to folk, and anything else. It's a synthesis, man. They got their own style.
We're here with an up-and-coming band, AMUSED. What is this band trying to communicate?
AMUSED is about vibrant life.
Inclusiveness.
Originality.
Not trying to box in any one particular thing. It's just like as vibrant as we can be, as resonant with other life as we can be. Celebration of life.
It's got complete different sounds, intimacy.
I play music to get out there and show that people can still have a good time no matter what kind of crap they've gone through in their life, and feel good about themselves, and feel good about other people. Enjoy what you do, and if you happen to make a living out of it, then rock and roll, baby.
What do you think inspired this?
My dad had a jazz band that we played, at our culture center. The culture center is, my parents had practiced Nichiren Daishonin Buddhism. So the last Sunday of every month, we'd all have like the big meeting, and we'd play in a band, before and after the meeting. And it was a jazz band, played jazz and blues, rock, stuff like that. And I had a good time doing it, and I switched over to bass guitar, and I enjoyed playing the bass, so.
You're like, oh man, I wish I could play music like that person. But do you want to have to go through all the stuff that inspired that? The depth of feeling a lot of times comes from coming against some really tough stuff.
Me and John actually been playing for about three, maybe 4 years. We met Tim, we knew everything was flowing well, and the biggest thing that inspired it was just how everything just seemed to fall in place, and everything seemed to be kind of fate for this band. So
If I did dark, it would truly be dark, because I know where that's at, and I went down to the depths. I mean, I was basically losing my mind. And I mean that in a very real sense. Coming through that, I think everybody can relate to that redemption.
We've overcome some addictions. For each of us, it goes back to the root of that, judging yourself against other people.
Do you think that's a common struggle with artists?
Together, and you try to get some kind of grasp on the world that's really infinite and ungraspable. And it breaks your mind. I think a lot of musicians go through that because they try to encompass it. They try to grab it all, and try to mark it all down and everything perfectly balanced and everything. I think that's definitely universal. Probably the biggest conflict is between myself and Tim. I consider us both inspired writers, very powerful vision, and that vision is not always going to be exactly the same, and nor should it be.
We have ideas, I'm thinking, man, I want these Beach Boys harmonies, Pat Sounds, deliciousness, some freaking out there Jim Morrison on the edge, and I want it to be powerful, I want it to be inspiring, I want it to be melodic, and John has those same things, just in different ways.
The guy who came up with the idea of putting the band together. Well, it's all going to be him. It's all his music that he writes. He don't want anybody to add any influence to it, you know. What's different about AMUSED is that for some odd reason we all seem to flow together, and we all respect each other's ideas on the music, and we use those ideas to make our song. If you come to one of our shows, you're going to see that all of our songs are a little different. They all have this. We have our own personal style. A song that's pretty hardcore and rocking, you know, just going. Then you're gonna, you know, pull off into a song that's just relaxing and kind of psychedelic. But it all flows together, you know, and it keeps the crowd interested.
Someone basically is trying to, you know, be the leader in the song when everybody has a creative passion.
How is this a common struggle with artists, and how can this be channeled?
Once they've based their lives around their art, it's such a big deal to them that somebody messes with it, they get mad. Mm-hmm. Anger is an effect of, or sometimes a cause, or both of conflict. So when you have two people, or four, or 8, or 2, or 3, whatever.
Yeah, they're side by side, and sometimes they're sprinting head on. If we can diminish our egos sometimes, and you know, a lot of times it's me, a lot of times I'll storm off during practice. If you can get over that, how much more powerful is it going to be?
There's a little bit of compromise, feeding off of each other, and coming up with separate ideas and learning from each other's ideas as you're playing.
When someone gives you some sort of criticism, you look at it, see how you play a part in it, because if you're not going to recognize your faults in yourself, you're not going to be able to become a better person.
In a lot of cases, though, you know, people end up going off and doing something just for the sake of ego at the places you agree on. And there has to be some kind of love or connection between the individuals making the music. And if there is, that connection will come out in the music and hopefully inspire that kind of thing in other people's lives. I mean, you know, that time when you listen to a song, you almost want to break down and cry. That time when you're sitting in a car by yourself out in front of a church or a liquor store, and that song comes on that coincides with your feeling at the time. You're like, how did another human felt like that?
You like to tell someone that's just starting out to play music or starting a new band that you would have liked to have known when you were just starting?
Tim, take note and remember this. Lay your ego aside for a small amount of time. Work through conflict that you'll be grateful for later on, that you set that aside when you're on stage or when you're recording, and something, you know, beyond yourself comes through you.
Don't be afraid to fail.
Creating a band that is a successful band takes hard work, and it takes time. So be thankful for whatever talent you have at that specific moment, and just do everything you can to just put everything you have into it at that specific time.
Don't ever say, well, I can't do that, or I don't know how to do that. Work, find it out, experience it, and if you fail, it's okay. That will make you stronger. No artist is perfect, they're people.
Everybody's opinion matters. It all comes together as one soul. And if you don't feel that in the band you're playing in, then maybe you should move around and find a group of people. Actually, you don't have to find them. They're just going to come to you. It comes together when it's time to come together. Amsterdam, Munich, was it over?